Well, happy 4th of July. It's almost here. This is the 3rd, tomorrow's the 4th. So we're going to talk freedom. Welcome to Life Notes for 3 July 2023. Freedom. Man, that's a word that I really like. Freedom and independence. I thought about them a lot when I was in school. So, when I was in school, I wanted to be free of school. But we take pride in being free, independent, and America is the bastion of freedom and independence in the entire world. Think about that. Nowhere else in the world can someone come to and actually do, legally of course, do the things that they desire to do and become what they want to become. I get really irritated and frustrated at Americans when I went in the Navy. Of course, it wasn't a popular thing to do back then, do any kind of military service. And one of my friends actually in the Navy was a communist. He and I had a lot of discussions about freedom, a democratic republic in America, and communism, which he had become enthralled with at one of the liberal colleges in Boston, Massachusetts. So we didn't resolve anything between us. However, we were able to discuss his views and my views and my religious views in a calm, peaceful, interactive way where we listen to each other, which you seldom see today. If someone has a different opinion, that's okay. This is America. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to have a different view. But don't try to force your views on someone else from either side. Neither side has the right to force their views or by underhanded methods to go about making laws and things that will force somebody to become what you want them to become. You know, this is not in praise of the Hells Angels. However, the Hells Angels are big on independence and freedom. Why are they in the Hells Angels and other motorcycle organizations of that ilk? Because they were tired of being under someone's thumb, how they perceived society trying to crush the life out of them. Unfortunately, in America today, that's what's happening to us. Independence means a state or being of having independence and freedom from the control, influence, support, aid, or anything of that nature from others. Independence, freedom. Sometimes when we get in trouble, we like assistance. We love it. Our house is on fire, man, send the firemen. There's crime in the area, send the police. There's trouble heading our way from another country, send the military. I'm thankful that I was able to serve in the military, and I'm thankful for the ones that serve now. Man, can you imagine what life would be like if we didn't have people willing to get on the firing line and do their best under the restrictive nature of the laws that are in place now, that most of which have been created by criminals and people trying to subvert the system. Think of where we would be if we didn't have that. Think about your current privileges in America. Hop in a car and you're in Virginia and you want to go to Kentucky, you just go. You don't need a passport to get from Virginia to Kentucky. You don't need a passport to go into North Carolina, into South Carolina, over to Georgia, over to Alabama. You just go because we have freedom and independence. Only in going to another country, and of course in Europe, some of the countries are not as big as some of our states. They have to have a passport to go anywhere. It's very restrictive. In China, they restrict, now, somebody may correct me on this. My understanding is going from one city to another, you have to have a pass, or not a passport, but some kind of pass, because you're changing locations within one of their regions. It's, anyway. People around the world want to come to America. Why? So they can escape the crime, the despotism, the rule of a demonic person that's trying to destroy and get all of the goods of that country for him or herself. So they come to America. However, they bring with them their traditions from their country. Well, that's okay, as long as they're good traditions. However, they also sometimes bring the circumstances and situations with them to America. They are inculcated with everything they've had to go through, and they bring all of that baggage to America. Why don't they just acclimate to a more peaceful and fulfilled life in the USA? Man, we have the greatest country in the world. Are we perfect? No. Do I think that the political system is totally out of control? Yes. It's ridiculous. I dislike people that want to argue over simple matters. Unless you're brain dead, some of the stuff they argue is crazy. And I'm not getting into any of them because I don't want to be political. Anyway, let me get on. I don't think it's intentional that they do this. What they happen, they don't learn the language. They turn areas of the country into their country. Little Italy, little China, little Russia, little Ireland, little Mexico City, whatever, instead of acclimating themselves and learning the culture and learn the language. Somebody that's been here 5 years should speak English almost fluently, with an accent, of course. I know people that's been in America for 25 years, and talking to them, there's probably not 10 words of English that they know that they can speak coherently. In Proverbs 26:11, Solomon wrote, "A fool who repeats his foolishness is like a dog that goes back to what he has thrown up." That's a fact. Dogs do that. Nobody knows the exact reason. Sometimes they think it's because it's food, well, it was. And in their brains, they're not supposed to waste food because who knows where the next meal is coming from. It's the way a dog thinks. Some thinks it's, an aggressive mood. This is mine. Nobody else can have it. Someone else can have mine. But anyway, I'm sorry. I think that the reason these immigrants are like this is from fear. It's a new country, new ways, new attitudes, new areas, new landscape, something with which they have to become familiar. Well, by continuing to not learn English and adapt to the area to which they've moved, they keep the same conditions that they wanted liberation from. And it's not just immigrants, it's people in America that have grown up in circumstances that are not good, and they hear somebody's imply or even say they've got a better way, but you have to subvert society to do it. They don't use those terms. They'll follow them. Well, I'm telling you, there is no good subversion, no matter who's doing it and no matter for what reason. A program should be put into place by the government, by churches, by civic organizations, by someone in your neighborhood, maybe you, that will take the time to teach people that don't know English the English of your locale, the idiosyncrasies of your neighborhood, of your city, your town, your rural area. If things continue as they go and we continue to have nutcases in government that make laws, local, state, and national, such as the law that was proposed about 22 years ago that Spanish should be the second language in America. No, it shouldn't. English is. English is America. If you want to speak Spanish, go to a Spanish-speaking country. It's pretty simple. Anyway, we need to help immigrants adapt and integrate into society. And I, at this time, don't have a long enough video to tell you things that I've run into and people that are dealing with immigrants directly that show no appreciation for coming to America and want to down Americans, where we, someone here sponsored them, just brought them from war-torn areas, and they have no appreciation for what they would have here. So in 15 years, we could be another South American country, Chinese, Afghanistan, Russian, but not just in little pockets. It could be all over America. So get up off the couch. Take time to look at the blessings that we have in America, which are tremendous, tremendous blessings. Take time to share your love for our country with these new immigrants and help them to gain a love for the country as well and want to learn English because they have you as a friend.